What it is, YouTube? It's your boy Grizz. Today I'm coming with a Techie Tuesday deck profile. I call it Broke Man Magicians. Um, Pretty affordable actually. It's three of the structured decks, some random stuff I had sitting around the house. Tested out very well. I mean, it's a pendulum deck, so they all pretty much play the same. There are some crazy tech choices that are cheap that won't cost you $1,000,000. I choose not to play certain things, but I'll let you guys know what those are. I obviously play way more than 40 cards, but you can cut it down to 40. It works either way. I just prefer the higher number because it is some of the tech cards I play. So I'm gonna get right into the profile, fam. We're gonna play the three Odd Odds Pendulum Dragon. I know they're not ultimate, but again, it's supposed to be the broke man profile. Some things that they have a little rare again, so three Odd Odds, he does his thing. Then just the structure deck stuff. I play three Oath Dragons because he's like super good. Three Wisdom Mine because he set up with the Oath Dragon. If you pop him with Oath and put the Dragon Pit on the field, while you have Oath Dragon, you can return them to your hand with Oath Dragon and then pop for free. And then if you pendulum summon an Oath Dragon, then you can just add it back to your hand. The most important, like in my opinion, the most important in the deck is Go-Crobat. There's two of these guys. I think one is not enough. One copy of the tuner. And then we get into the Magispector engine because this is the cheap stuff. So you get 3 Kieran because him with Skullcrobat on field is just astronomical. It's destructive. It's nasty. Make it nasty. You hear me? Then you got 3 of the Fox to search your trap cards. I forewarn you, there's no Tempest in the deck because I just don't have them. Again, it's just a poor man's profile. So I mean, I'm gonna upgrade it and play the actual like pimped out profile later. But you got 2 Hat Trickers. Sorry about this glare. 3 Jugglers, mostly because you just want to stop opposing Wavering Eyes and OTKs. But there's a lot. And then here, where it get techie, 2 Yasenju Masak. If you can't afford the big Thunderbird, Masak is hella good. Basically when he's pendulum summoned, you can pop a card on your opponent's field, and then he goes back to your hand because he was pendulum summoned at the end of the turn. But the other part of his effect that's really useful is the effect if he's like a catastrophe for wind monsters, for non-wind monsters. He can attack ships and blow them up, and he doesn't target. So he'll get you over your Dark Destroyer. They'll work their way down the ladder, but if you pendulum summon for 2, you'll bring them all the way down and then just run over the other monster. You really just want to play out of Dark Destroyers. He also is good for floodgate removal. And the fact that he goes back to your hand. So if you establish a board, these go back to your hand, your opponent can't break your scales, then you're pretty much set up for game. I enjoy him a lot. The one bulb, because I'm not playing the King of the Fairyum stuff, because I didn't feel like trying to dig up that one guy, the Polymaru or whatever. And then my tech choice is, another tech choice is Yamada Dragon. Now, a lot of y'all probably like, what the hell is this and what does it do? Okay, so Yamada Dragon is a 7-star spirit monster with 2,600 attack points. What he does is if he deals damage, you draw until you have 5 cards in hand. You're playing a pendulum deck, and hand controlling pendulum decks usually really isn't very good, mostly because you're committing more stuff to your board than you are to your hand. So in a lot of cases, you can pendulum summon 2 or 3 because people aren't protecting themselves. They have to burn a juggler to stop you from using 5 cards, which keeps your Wavering Eyes live. There was a game where I was sitting on some Magispector stuff in this guy, and I just kept tributing the Magispector stuff, summoning him, pinning the Magispector stuff back, getting the Magispector plus it, and then just pushing real hard, drawing cards. So I like him, and it very works if you have the Bulb in Graveyard. You can turn him into an Omega or something like that. Again, some of the stuff in the extra deck I couldn't help because, it doesn't come any cheaper than that. But then we get to the spells. It's a small lineup, standard stuff really. 3 Wavering Eyes because it's Wavering Eyes. 3 Pin Calls because you're playing Magicians. 2 Instant Fusions, which I hate. I just hadn't even found anything to cut it out for yet. Probably when I upgrade the deck, this card will probably either go to a 1 or none. Double Sky Iris is really important because you can break your own scale, especially if you had to use Kieran or something as a scale to go off. You can break your scale and then reset it after you search the Odd Eyes, who's a huge part in this deck, and the one Raigeki, which is really optional because, like I said, if you're Pendulum Summon Masak, then you're moving your opponent's board one way or another anyway. But this is a good way to start against like Cosmo. If they're sitting on a field with the big ships, you just knock them down the ladder, and then once they get to certain kind, you can Masak the rest of their board away. And all they'll have is one ship, and they'll have to move down the ladder. But a lot of times you'll make Meteor Burst Dragon, so your Raigeki get rid of the biggest threat to them, and then Masak knock them down the ladder even more, and then Masak is pretty much immune to Honest because at the start of the damage step he blows the monster up, so you don't have to worry about it. So at worst, to try to save themselves, they would use Wicked Witch, but if you make Meteor Burst, then Wicked Witch's effect can't save her because she can't activate it during the battle phase. And then I play some traps. So traps here, standard, bottomless for other Pendulum Summons, torrential for the same, warning the same. Those are anti-Pendulum Summon standard staples. But then despite me playing all these cards, I believe 3 Reckless Greed is the way to go over like Upstart or anything like that, because you're primarily adding cards to your hand. Ignite Reload would also be would be a really good choice for this deck, but this card plays around anti-spell. And you also I feel like when you play decks like this, because Pendulum decks are basically just heavy combo decks with more speed, you just blow out your opponent by getting the last couple pieces you need and winning the game. If you're not drawing the piece, you're drawing something that'll add the piece, and you can just push hard. And then I played 3 of these, the Magic Spectre Tempest. I honestly only want to play 2 or even 1 and then double Cyclone, but again, this is just a poor version of it. So it stops summons, it stops crazy things. I think it's another anti-pendulum stopper. This deck establishes crazy, stupid boards. Like I said, the Yamada Dragon where you're drawing 5 cards, the Reckless Greed where you're drawing till you're drawing till you 5 with the Ramada Dragon. Then you can potentially have like 7, 8 cards in your hand in a turn, and then set in back row. This format's OTK format. You don't want to get OTK'd, so I play 3 Threatening Roars and 2 Wabaku. The only reason why I'm not playing 3 and 3, I think this deck is like 59 cards, so I don't really want to play 60. I know it's stupid to y'all, but that's just how it is. Also, excuse my lack of enthusiasm right now. I'm barely awake. The extra deck can get kind of pricey, so I'm going to show you guys anyway. Nodin, Vortex Dragon. You almost never bring him out, but, it's good to have. Structure deck stuff, Trapeze Magician, Increase OTK, Dire Wolf. I'm playing a Utopia because he's a 25 beater, and I can negate attacks for free, so it's all good. Then when I'm tired of him, I can just get rid of him with Sky Iris, so it's all good. Flare Metal he's basically like a giant cowboy. After you attempt an OTK, your opponent has to pay so many life points, and they just lose the game. Castell, 101. This guy's only like $10, so I don't even count him as an expensive card. But there's so many combos in the deck where you make them and then just go extra hamburger and french fries. Then the Dragons, Stardust, because it stops Wayburn Eyes, and Ignister, because he has to blow up a card. Meteor Burst, because I just destroyed Cosmos with it. Beast, you can make it sometimes. Sitting on Beast and Threatening Roar is really strong. Scarlight is OG, triple OG. And with the random global play, you can make the Omega, which those are, like I said, the extra deck's expensive, but most of the rest of the deck is dirt cheap. So, tell me what you guys think about the deck. Actually, I know what most of you think about the deck. So tell me what you think about the tech choices of the deck. What do you think about Masak? What do you think about Yamada Dragon? Do you think Yamada is too big of a commitment to try to plus, or do you think that the fact that you can Pendulum Summon makes Yamada Dragon actually pretty decent? There's also another card that I'm going to talk about real quick. I don't have one sitting around me, but it's called Hino Kagetsuchi. Hino Kagetsuchi essentially is a spirit monster who deals damage similar to Yamada Dragon, but instead of drawing a card at the start of your opponent's turn, before they draw their card, they ditch their entire hand. So any place that they would have, even off of max C, if you go off and you're under max C and you deal damage with Hino Kagetsuchi, then they discard their entire hand before they draw. It doesn't matter if they drew 40 cards. When they start their turn, they draw. Before they draw, they ditch everything. So that one card puts them in the minus. And you're still sitting on your Magic Spectre stuff, so even if they have scales, they have to Pendulum Summon and run into your Tempest to attempt to make a play. But this is your boy Grizz signing out.